here's where I get stuck with the Gary Lineker thing. Had Gary Lineker tweeted, "Stop the boats. What a fantastic policy. Finally, the Home Office is getting on top of controlling our borders. Well done, Suella Braverman." Which, again, let's remind ourselves, is also breaking impartiality rules for the BBC. So that would have also broken impartiality. Would you be presenting Match of the Day tonight?
I would argue, as a former BBC presenter and being under these restrictions for many years, yes, exactly the same action would have happened. Because the fight, the struggle, the discussion within the BBC since Tim Davie came in is all about its impartiality. So you've got to be impartial. Hang on, you've got to be impartial. And who does that apply to? Definitely to news and current affairs, but does it go beyond? And there's huge conversations amongst producers within news and current affairs, how angry they are that for years Gary Lineker and other people have tweeted like this and they've not in any way been reprimanded.
But you think he would have been taken off air had he tweeted support for Stop the Boats?
Yeah, because I think it's the same. It's a political statement. It doesn't matter what the political statement is. That the BBC does not want. It's uncomfortable with their highest paid star actually discussing and getting involved in a controversial policy, whichever side it was. We were saying earlier, I think he'd probably tweeted about homelessness and saying, this is dreadful, we should try and end it. I don't think the BBC would mind that. It's the fact that you look at the statement on the front of the Times today, it says he should keep well away from taking sides on party political issues or political controversies.
Okay.
Do you think... what do you think?
One of my big question marks around this is the consistency of enforcement, if you like, from a BBC point of view. Now, whether that applies into different people or in different contexts. This is not Gary Lineker's first, in inverted commas, offence. He has tweeted political opinions before. This is just the culmination of it. So I'm wondering what the tipping point has been, actually.
I wonder if the tipping point was when he said, I'm looking forward to presenting Match of the Day tomorrow.
Yeah, if that was just aggravating. There is also...
Well, there was a time during this whole period where the BBC had said, everything's fine, no action will be taken.
Yes, exactly.
That statement did go out.
Frank conversation, yeah.
And it all changed.
But I think the sticking point, when you read the stuff in the papers this morning, is that he was asked to not do it again and to apologise. And he said, I'm not prepared to do that. And I think that's where the BBC said, well, with Emily Maitlis, for example, when she did her monologue at the beginning of Newsnight, she was asked to apologise. And she apologised, and then they said, OK, we can move on. But I think the fact that Gary Lineker said, well, I'm not apologising and I'm going to carry on doing it, I think the BBC then felt they didn't have a choice. I'm not defending what they said.
No,
I'm trying to give you the inner thoughts.
Callum looks tired.
No, but we've worked under this, and we've worked under that pressure, and the at times all-consuming fear about what you tweet, and you read that tweet 5 or 6 times as a BBC employee. Can this be misconstrued? Am I going to get in trouble for this? And I'm just talking about my own experiences within the inner workings of the BBC and how it is dealt with. Doesn't mean I'm right.
I can give you an insight. I once tweeted a picture of somebody during. Do you remember all the? Well, of course we all do. During all the Brexit kerfuffle, and every day
I recall.
felt like we were living through history. We were however sort of contentious and everything it was. And somebody in the newsroom got particularly excited. Was like, "This is whatever you think of what these decisions are. The fact that we are reporting on this is absolutely astonishing. History is happening in front of us." And I kind of captured that moment, and I was about to tweet it, and then I was told, "Don't do that because it could be misconstrued." And it was not a political opinion at all, but it could be misconstrued, and that is the intensity with which we were scrutinised as news producers and presenters.
I'm so glad that when I sort of worked for the BBC doing The Real Hustle, which of course had nothing to do with news, Twitter wasn't around.
Thank you so much for watching. You get extra points for making it all the way to the end of the video.
And if you want to see more from me, Chloe and Callum, you can join us every Friday to Sunday on Times Radio from 6 a.m.